tonight on KSL Outdoors.
Yellowstone National Park in the fall is beautiful and less crowded. Plus, we'll introduce you to two pioneers of West Yellowstone and give you a chance to win a trip to enjoy Yellowstone National Park in the winter.
I'm Adam Eakle, and this is KSL Outdoors.
KSL Outdoors with Adam Eakle is brought to you by your local Ford stores.
Welcome to KSL Outdoors and welcome to West Yellowstone. I'm Adam Eakle. Boy, what a great time of year to be up here. The fishing is really good right now up here outside of West Yellowstone, and in Yellowstone National Park, there's hardly any people around right now. Tonight, we're going to introduce you to two pioneers that turned this town of West Yellowstone into the destination that it is today. And we're going to give one lucky family watching tonight a chance to come up and experience a 4-day vacation with our friends here at Three Bear Lodge.
You know what we love about fall, the tourist season has really come to a halt and is winding down, and so the traffic is light, the attendance on the boardwalks, you have elbow room. I mean, you really sometimes can just see the wildlife and enjoy it for yourself.
Yellowstone National Park, beautiful any time of year. During the fall, the elk are rutting, and the only traffic jam
come on.
is when a herd of bison take over the road.
Look at that one trying to cut me off right there.
But by far the best time to visit the area, in my opinion, is after the snow flies. More than 3 million people travel from around the world to visit Yellowstone National Park each year. Most vacation during the summer months when the air is warm, the days are long, and the roads are clear. But a few hardy visitors prefer to wait until the coldest, darkest, snowiest time of year. They go to experience the wonders of the area on a snowmobile. "10 years ago, on assignment with my old buddy Reese Stein, we came to West Yellowstone to visit the park in the winter, and that's when I met the owner of Three Bear Lodge.
So years ago, I came to West Yellowstone, and I walked in. I didn't know you, and I said, "Clint, did you ever know my Aunt Donna?" And you grabbed me by the shoulder and said, "Young man, come with me," and you brought me here to the restaurant.
Yes, I wanted to show you your Aunt Donna. Here is Donna Young, your aunt. She and her husband Harold were the first ones that were permitted to take snow coaches into Yellowstone. And it was a few years later when they were able to take snowmobiles in. I've always been intrigued with history and preserving it for other people. So when we built Three Bear Restaurant, all of this around us, we gathered historical photos from all the old timers that had been here who I looked up to.
Clyde had a humble beginning. He came to West Yellowstone as a young man in 1958 to work as a laundry boy here at Three Bear Lodge. In 1971, he bought the lodge.
We had the fire the first day I bought it, and I quit teaching school to rebuild so that we could go be back in business. Then when I decided to stay open in the wintertime.
46 years later, Clyde is still pursuing the dream my Aunt Donna and Uncle Harold had back in the 1950s. His lodge offers every service during the winter: a restaurant, beautiful rooms, and guided tours in and out of Yellowstone National Park.
Yellowstone in the winter was, maybe it's a trite phrase, the best kept secret, but it really was. And when we opened that up to start bringing in groups and putting together complete packages, then it opened it up to the world.
Winter in Yellowstone is simply magic. Trees are blanketed in a winter white coat. The animals are too. You might see a lone bull taking a break near a river, or a lone wolf hunting a herd of bison.
There she blows.
And the best part? You nearly have the park to yourself.
The difference between the 25 of us and the 2,500 that are probably here in the summer, night and day. I mean, why would you ever come in the summer if you could do this and have this to yourself? That's amazing.
I don't get lonely at all. It's nice to be here in winter. We're just really enjoying the solitude and the quietness.
Coming up,
I think they like that nymph.
we'll go fishing with another local legend, and we'll dive a little deeper into the history of West Yellowstone. But first, let's test your knowledge of national parks in tonight's climate quiz question. Yellowstone National Park was established by Congress and signed into law by President Ulysses S. Grant on March 1, 1872. This law made Yellowstone the first national park in the United States. It's often been said that national parks is the best idea America has ever had. And for nearly 100 years, this best idea has been nurtured by the National Park Service. Our climate quiz question tonight is, how many national parks do we have in the United States? And once you know the amount of parks, go to our KSL Outdoors Facebook page, give us the correct answer, and while you're at it, give us a like. We'll then randomly select and announce a winner on our page the following week. The winner set to walk away with a Climate Static V sleeping pad. Climate, comfortable, rugged, and lightweight. And here's the answer to last week's question, which was, how many general season deer units do we have in Utah? The answer is, we have 30 general season deer units in the state. KSL Outdoors, powered by Ford, will be right back to West Yellowstone.
KSL Outdoors is also brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, Fish Tech Outfitters, Utah State Parks, Burt Brothers, Climate, Intermountain Wind and Solar, King's Camo, and Camp Chef.
Welcome back to KSL Outdoors. I'm Adam Eakle along with my son Ethan. And well, Ethan, we've been in the park. We saw the sights, we saw some animals, but you can't come to Yellowstone, the Yellowstone area that is, and not go fishing, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're headed out with another local legend, Bob Jaclyn.
So we're fishing the area near Hebgen Lake. I came to Yellowstone to follow the fish in 1967. Anyway, I got friendly with Ed Mueller, and he was a tournament caster. So that's how I got involved. And he said, there's a town 14 miles away. It's got cold beer, dancing girls. I said, when do we leave? That's how I got to West Yellowstone. I fell in love with this area, so I've been here ever since. There's some good fish right about in the middle of the river.
Meet Bob Jaclyn, another local legend that came to West Yellowstone, had a love of fly fishing, and made a business selling his love to tourists.
The Madison's our main river, but we have the whole park and the upper Yellowstone River, and then just 20 miles away is the whole Henry's Fork. So this is probably the best area within a 50-mile radius of West Yellowstone that you could be in for trout fishing. Got him.
There's a fish. Nice fish.
No, lost
Is that
him.
on the dry?
Yeah,
No kidding.
I lost him.
Bob's passion for fishing has led him to owning Jaclyn's Fly Shop here in West Yellowstone. He's produced DVDs and trail guides on fly fishing the area, and he's never forgotten those that fished these waters before him.
I've always been a history buff. When I first got here, I was interested in who was here before me, what they did, what flies, and I started writing it. You got to know the fishermen. Jim Danskin, Bud Lilly, Pat Barnes. Oh, there's one moving around down there, big fish.
Yeah.
See him moving? Wow, talk about loaded with fish.
Bob's enthusiasm for fish is contagious. He's no doubt one of the best guides around.
Yeah, you got him.
It's the first whitefish I've ever caught in Montana.
That's a good one. Original pioneers in this area put up more whitefish in the winter than they did trout.
They're great smoke.
Because they were easier to get, you could smoke them and they salt well. You salt them in a barrel and they'll keep all winter.
Yeah.
And they taste good.
Almost need a bigger net for these guys. They're giants.
So the next time you're coming to West Yellowstone to come to the park, stop in and say hi to Bob. You could come out and fish with a man
And there's a second one.
who not only can get you into some fish,
Boy, they like that fly you gave me.
Yeah,
but give you a lesson about the fish,
that's called a Martinez nymph.
the area,
Yeah, Don Martinez had a shop here in the 30s in West Yellowstone. I wrote about him.
and the fishermen who have graced these fabled waters.
Hey, if people want to come out and fish with you, I imagine you're getting ready to close up shop now, but maybe next spring. When do you open up and what's your website?
We open up in early May, full-time,
Yeah.
and our website is bjaclyn@jaclynsflyshop.com.
Very good. Well, thanks, sir. That was a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure meeting you.
We'll do it again. My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, more here coming up on KSL Outdoors in a moment, but first back to the guys at Fish Tech for tonight's fishing report.
Get out of here, this is my area.
All right.
Hey, what? I'm not the only one that's territorial this time of year. So are the Browns. Hi, I'm Mickey Anderson from Fish Tech with this week's fishing report. Hey, when the water temperatures cool down, the Browns start going crazy and they get real territorial. And you can lure fish or fly fish and still get these fish. And you'll know that you're getting a territorial fish because he's gonna chase your lure without hitting it. It just wants your lure out of there and it's gonna go back. Your goal now is to hold your lure in that area close to the fish as long as you can. If you're using Rapalas, use a floating Rapala. Now you can reel this past the fish and it'll dive down. If you back off, it floats right back up and sits right by that fish. If you're using jigs, just go to a lighter weight jig hook. Go to a real tiny head and you can use a tube jig, or if you like marabou jigs, just go to the smaller ones with the nice big tails on them. Spinners are great this time of year. You want a big blade and a big profile, but a light-weighted body, something smaller like this. Now you know me, I like flies the best. You can still use gigantic flies that have no weight at all. Put a small split shot up ahead of it, that'll get the line down and keep the fly up, or use a sink tip line that'll also pull that down. Or you can go to just a lighter weight streamer like these or a pattern like this. Hey, for these territorial fish streamers and a whole lot more, come on down to Fish Tech, we'll help you out. And now for tonight's fishing line.
Welcome back to West Yellowstone. This small town is the best way to experience Yellowstone in the winter. It's no wonder that Clyde has a love affair not only with the town, but nearby Yellowstone National Park.
I've lived in West Yellowstone more than half of the life of West Yellowstone. If you consider that the beginning of West Yellowstone was in 1908 when the train came.
Clyde is often stopped by visitors to shake his hand and hear his stories. And speaking of trains,
I owned that railroad car. We lived in it.
Clyde and his wife Linda raised their kids in this very rail car while they built their home. Clyde then built a hotel around the car, and it's still there today.
You seem to have some deep-rooted civic pride.
Well, I owe a lot to West Yellowstone because of the forebears like Harold and Donnie Young.
Back when my aunt and uncle were taking snowmobiles into the park, they also had a couple of Bombardiers nicknamed the Bombs. Clyde has since purchased all the old Bombardiers in the area, including my aunt and uncle's. They've been retrofitted with clean, modern engines, and now Three Bear Lodge is once again taking guests through the park on the Bombs, just like they did back in the 50s.
They like to ride these because there is some nostalgia involved. And they're just a lot of fun to ride in. They're very small, they're very intimate, and they're kind of a neat experience. They got a hatch on top that pops open, so when you get surrounded in a bison jam, you can just kind of reach out the top and take some pictures. So they're kind of a unique vehicle. On tracks, they are the quietest and most efficient vehicles in the park in the winter.
Clyde says one of his fondest memories was guiding people on snowmobiles in the park.
And stop and turn around and look at their faces with the smiles and the oohs and the ahs. And that is fun. Because then I knew they were feeling the same thing that I've always felt.
Clyde was there during the intense wrangling between snowmobile operators and environmentalists when snowmobiles were banned from the park. And he's endured 2 fires at the lodge. He's seen a lot change in his nearly 6 decades in West Yellowstone, and he decided to share his experiences by writing a book.
I just encourage everybody to write their life story down. It doesn't have to be ever published in a book, but gosh, those memories are important. We all like to believe that we have made a difference. That's been very important to me.
Well, I was about Ethan's age when I first came to West Yellowstone back in the 70s, and quite a bit has changed, but one thing that hasn't is the charm of this beautiful little community, the people that make their lives here, and the memories that you can make when you bring your family here, whether it be in the fall, the summer, even the winter.
Coming up, your chance to win a trip to West Yellowstone, courtesy of Three Bear Lodge. But first, tonight's Utah Field Guide. Sitting on the border of Utah and Idaho is one of the most picturesque lakes in all of Utah. Formed 28,000 years ago by earthquake activity, Bear Lake and its brilliant blue waters combined with some unique fish species are what draw sportsmen and boaters to this lake year-round. But while the boating season is coming to an end, the great fishing is just getting started. In about a month, the Bonneville whitefish will come shallow to spawn. This whitefish is endemic to Bear Lake and a favorite for many anglers to catch and smoke. Another event is coming up in just 6 days. It's a catch and release lake trout fishing tournament being run by Pugstone Sporting. The fishing should be good, and so is the cash payout. All proceeds will go right back to the angler or team of anglers that catch the longest 3 fish. 60% for first place, 30% for second, and 10% for third. There will also be prizes awarded for the longest cutthroat caught and released. If you'd like to learn more about the tournament or you want to register for this event, go to their website at fishingbearlake.com.
You cold? Yeah. It's not that cold out here. It's a beautiful morning, actually. But if you do come out for a snowmobiling tour into the park or outside the park, Three Bears has a lot of the necessities, gloves, hats, even big coats and some overalls to get you warm or keep you warm while you're out on the sled. Hey, let's find out that recreation forecast for your next outdoor adventure by turning it over to the guys and gals back in Salt Lake in the weather department. Welcome back to KSL Outdoors. Back here in West Yellowstone, I'm Adam Eakle along with Wade Ostad. And Wade, we've been whetting people's appetites to come here to West Yellowstone to experience Three Bear Lodge, to go into Yellowstone Park. And we're going to do it more by giving some lucky viewer a chance to come up here and visit that. How are we going to do that?
If they'll go to seeyellowstone.com/KSL Outdoors, then they can register to win this 4-night, 3-day Let's Start It Off Right with your viewers.
Okay.
And we'll give them a trip, and then if they want to win 2 trips, they need to head down to Shields and enter to win that one that we give away in November.
Very good. Hey, if you want that link, go to our KSL Outdoors Facebook page, and you'll find it right there as well. Well, we're not going to be that tourist, are we, and get too close to the bison? No. Don't want to get gored. Hey, and if you want some cool pictures or video, get one of these cool phone scope adapters. You can adapt it to your existing spotting scope and get some really up-close shots of some of the wildlife we have in Utah and up here in Yellowstone. Hey, time now to turn it over to you for some of your best snapshots in this week's Snapshot of the Week.
We kick it off where we left off, back in Yellowstone. Whitney Robertson caught some cool critters on camera on her annual trip to Yellowstone National Park. From foxes to this osprey in a nest, and finally, these 2 giant mule deer bucks in velvet. As usual, Whitney says, Yellowstone didn't disappoint. Mike has figured out the tiger muskie at Joe's Valley. This past September, they landed a 38-inch, 240-inch, and a 42-inch tiger muskie that weighed over 18 pounds. This is Mike holding his grandson's fish. Mike says it took all his grandson had to reel it in. The toothy tiger was just under the 40-inch minimum, so they turned it back to fight another day. Isaac and Nathan had an awesome youth hunt. It was Nathan's first duck hunt, and their day wrapped up perfectly with a rainbow followed by an amazing sunset. Both boys definitely have a little mud in their blood and have come down with duck fever. The Fisher family found these wild horses on their way back from Topaz Mountain in the West Desert, just off the Pony Express Trail. Rob says his 5 kids were able to take in the sight as Dad snapped these cool pictures. But our winner tonight found a love of photography at a very young age. Aaron Darby was up in Yellowstone National Park on summer vacation back in July. Aaron is an amateur photographer who found the love of the art back in high school. This shot he took with his 9-year-old son at his side in the Midway Basin of the park. Aaron says it was his first time being in Yellowstone, and he was blown away. Well, Aaron, your shot of the hot pot blew our judges away, as you just won our big prize for having the Snapshot of the Week. Remember, submit your pictures or video plus an explanation of your latest outdoor adventures online at ksltv.com. The winner each week wins the new Striker multi-fuel backpacking stove that can be fueled by propane or butane. Plus, the winner is also entered into our Ford Trucks quarterly Facebook giveaway for a Camp Chef pellet grill.
Build your outdoor kitchen with Camp Chef.
the way to cook outdoors.
We start snow tours on December 15th, snowmobile or snow coach into the park and also out of the park.
Awesome. And again, one more time, if people want to come out and get a free trip, it's seeyellowstone.com/KSL Outdoors, right?
That's right. Either go to your Facebook page or log into our site, seeyellowstone.com, KSL Outdoors, register to win that 4-night, 3-day excursion up here in the winter. We'll take care of them.
Hey, I'm Adam Eakle, along with our friends here in West Yellowstone, reminding you to get out with your family, your friends, even your rugrat, and make some memories outdoors. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.